All right, guys, let's, ooh, it's dusty in here. We won't stay in here very long. It's kind of dusty. So, last time we were recording Kick was Friday, and that's when we picked up all of the tongue and groove boards for the ceiling. So today I have been busy sorting the wood into good boards, decent-ish boards, and bad boards. So there are 6 boards that I'm going to be exchanging. I can't use more than 50% of those boards. So they're bad boards. And then I have 27 good boards here. And so I've already started the process of sanding them down. And this is what it looks like between it being sanded, and you can see kind of a nice white pine-ish, and the yellow pine, more of, this is the unsanded. And then sometimes there's blemishes on the wood, and that gets sanded out just using a fine, like 600 grit sandpaper. It takes me about, I don't know, a minute and a half, 2 minutes per board, so it won't take me very long to go through it. And then we got to get it stained. But on Friday, after we filmed Kick, we went and got, oh, you're talking about these boards? Okay, yeah, so these boards are, there's 2 packs here. One pack, stack rather, is they have a split at the end, or they have a pretty bad nick at the end. And so I need to measure out the usable space of these boards to see if I'm gonna have enough. And then these have, somewhere in the center or along the tongue or groove portion, there's a hole that wouldn't be covered. So we have those marked as well. And, oh, actually, bring Katie up to speed too. So if you guys remember, I laid out a pattern. We were gonna go with basically a 12-12, 5.5, and then a smaller piece, a 12-12, and a smaller piece, and we're going to double that or continue that pattern. But I don't like it. I don't like how you're seeing this pattern all the way down.
You're seeing the 2s.
This is how it would be. Mm-hmm. This would be the final strip at the top. And I actually may take this and make it wider and make this one smaller. You know, make this one less narrow. But this is the pattern that you would see, and I really don't like seeing the same cut edges along the way. So I think I'm going to just randomize it, and I think that'll help use the boards that we have, is being able to randomize how much or where the staggers are. So it won't necessarily see a pattern like this. There might be a few patterns in there, but it won't be a solid pattern like this. And I think somebody commented that your eyes kind of gravitate towards patterns. And now that I know that, now that I have that in my head, I know that I'll see it on the ceiling. So I think I'm gonna just do a random pattern instead. Are you not talking at all, Katie?
I'll talk.
Okay.
I'm just waiting for you to share all of your wisdom.
Okay. But
you said this was for Katie's knowledge also, so
I know, but I'm talking to you and you're just like, so I'm wondering if you're talking at all. Okay.
I thought you were talking to the kind folk.
I'm talking to you too. And then we went out and looked at stain. I guess we could put these up here.
Yeah, when we went back to town.
Yeah, we went into town Friday after we filmed, and we found a broken piece of pine at the store that they let us use and put stain and then bring it home. And it's a little bit different this pine isn't exactly the same tint.
Yeah. So we'll probably take one of these boards and a little piece of it to test the stains, but I picked the top 6 that I thought, just looking at the package. Yeah. You know, because you don't know what it's going to look like on wood, and obviously the type of wood depends. So this is a clear gray, basically.
Classic gray.
And what I mean by clear is there's 2 types of stains. There's the where you can see through it, you still see the wood grain, and then there's another type, which I didn't do any of. It's the thick, the non-transparent stain.
So it would just be this solid color and you wouldn't see the grain?
It'd be a very dark gray. It almost
Yeah.
looked like paint.
Yeah.
Is kind of the difference. So all of these are going to be that more transparent.
Yeah.
So the gray, and the reason I picked the gray was I was trying to get things kind of close to what in my head the flooring was looking like. And so that's where these came about. The English chestnut, it's a pretty color. It's very dark though. And then you have the special walnut, which it's kind of hard to tell because there was a lot of discoloration on this board, as you can see. And so, and Nate just brought the flooring just to kind of show. And so you really have to look at just this little portion of it, not up here, because this has that discoloration under it, which is what Nate is sanding out right now on the other boards. This is just a natural clear coat. This one is a weathered oak, so just has a little bit of stain, and then this one is the dark walnut. Nate and I both agree that we like the dark walnut the best for the center beam.
Yeah, so when we put our barn wood up, we're gonna plane down the barn wood and then stain it with this dark walnut and then put it up there.
So that it's all consistent and the same. And then we're in between. I like this one.
The special walnut?
Special walnut. And Nate likes the weathered oak. But I also don't mind the weathered oak, like either of these, but it's just what we think we're gonna do is basically get this one, and this one stained onto our boards, and then bring this when we go, and then we'll make our final decision, because we don't want it to be matchy-matchy, but we want it to be complementary.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's where we are with the wood. I think I'll be able to get the sanding done tomorrow. And I don't know if I'm gonna go and exchange the boards tomorrow or if I'm gonna do that Wednesday. The ones that I just can't use.
Yeah, because Thursday's a holiday, so.
Oh wow, are we coming up to that time of year already?
Thursday's Thanksgiving.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, we'll have to do it this early in the week so that places are still open and places might have limited hours on Wednesday.
That's true, yeah.
So we need to figure that out probably tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll probably go Wednesday then. Yeah, so that's where we are. I'm excited to have this started. I've been watching a ton of videos on how to put up tongue and groove, and one of the things that I thought I was gonna have to do is after I put up the tongue and groove with it being against the wall, right at the corner up there, I don't expect this wall to be completely straight. Like there's gonna be a little bit of curvature to it. Waviness, I guess. And I was thinking I was just gonna put up some trim up there. But I watched somebody deal with a wall that has a bit of a wave, and what was that? Why is he whining like that? That was weird. Mm-hmm. He was able to match the wave to the board and get it nice and flush against the wall, and you could hardly even tell.
Nice.
You coming in, buddy? Come on. Come on.
Come here, Winnie.
Come on. Let's go. Over here.
Hi, buddy.
What are you doing?
Hi.
That's just weird.
What's going on? He whimpered and then he came inside.
Why were you whimpering, buddy? Huh?
You all right? Did a mean chicken get you?
Weird.
Yeah.
Very strange.
Hi, bud.
Yeah, so I think if I can do it correctly, I think I'll be able to get it up there tight against the wall on all the walls, on the edges, and not have to do a trim.
That's good, because I didn't want to have to do trim.
I know you didn't want to have trim. And if it doesn't work out, then I'll put trim.
Boo.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm excited to get started. But I'm also going to take my time and, do it all right. Yeah, let's get out of here. It's really sneezy in here, isn't it, mister? There's a lot of dust floating around.
Oh, you are slobbery, buddy.
Come on, let's go up.
Yeah, he was right over here when he did it. There was nothing by him. Strange. Was it the mean goslings?
The kids are stuck in the house.
Levi's trying to get out. We have one laying an egg right there, sitting on the nest, and they protect.
They will soon not be free ranging.
Yes. Yes. Oh, the ladies are out.
Yeah. I brought them all the way back to the pond, way far back,
And
over by the other
they've
fence.
graduated.
No, immediately followed me back.
Oh,
Immediately followed me back. So other things that we did this weekend. Yesterday, we processed an additional 19 roosters. So we now have no more roosters. No more roosters in Bever Coop number 1.
It is empty, empty, empty. That's so weird.
They are so annoying.
We have this little bantam rooster. He's just part of this little flock. He originally was just with the bantams, but Olive really likes him. Those 2 silver-laced cochins right there, they are for sale. The salmon faverol is for sale. And then we have 2 of our meat birds, and there's a black cochin female that's for sale. The other group over there is our normal free-range flock. And they get very close to each other, and Duke and him do fine.
Occasionally Duke will put him in his place.
Yeah, if he attempts to go over or away from any of his ladies, like this Rhode Island Red right here, she is actually part of our free-range flock with Duke, but she hangs out. And then here's the rest of the bantam flock, and they kind of hang out in this area. Oh, and that is, I think that's Karen. Woo! And she's part of our free rangers. I just stepped in a muddy hole.
I saw that.
That was gross, because, yep,
All over your foot.
all over my foot.
So with those 19 roosters, we took a little different approach this time. We knew that the roosters were just going to turn into livestock food.
They didn't have enough meat on their bones.
No, they were tiny. They were so small. So we ended up I took the legs off of the roosters.
Legs and thighs.
Legs and thighs. And we ended up pressure cooking those with the Instant Pot.
Yes, for the
and
doggies.
then deboning the meat and freezing the meat, and so the dogs will get that for their meals over the next couple months. And then we took the remaining carcasses after they were eviscerated, and we actually boiled them in the 50-gallon tank here, about 5 or 6 at a time, and then just distributed those carcasses to the different runs of the chickens.
So they all got, and oh my gosh, if y'all haven't seen what crazy carnivores chickens are, they pick them bones clean. Is this okay if we go this way, or were you
Sure.
still? Okay, I didn't know if you were still explaining. Winston, you are so fun to follow. Oh, this little lady got out. Oh, he jumped over. He's now by himself over there. All right, so this little lady just needs to go back in. This rooster that just ran back there, he was one that got a reprieve because he's a sweet cochin. And same with this rooster. So technically we have 2 roosters, but you can see the bones in here.
That one carcass right there.
Oh yeah, that carcass, and you can see like there's nothing left on it. And it was like that probably within 30 minutes.
Yeah, they pick it.
Pick it very, very clean.
Very, very clean, yes.
And even like these girls.
So then we come back in and we pick them up.
Yep, we'll pick up all of the bones and everything out of there, but they'll get all of the cartilage, they'll get all of the
meat, skin, the fat, everything.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not really much
Collagen.
fat left because it's all boiled off, but.
Yeah, and then speaking of like all of the boiled, we then made a bone broth, basically.
Yeah.
Full of all the collagen and everything, and then Nate added that to some scratch grain. That would go.
Yeah, that's right over here.
For all of the chickens to give, because it is molting season, and you can see when the 2 flocks get a little too close to each other.
Were the sheep getting this, or the dogs?
The sheeps were eating it, so I moved it.
Yeah, so there was just a bunch of rendered down fat left in the what is it, the Dutch oven or this crock pot or whatever you're cooking it in.
Yeah, that's the bone broth I was talking about.
Yeah, and so I dumped it in here, boiled a bunch of water with the pot over there, and then put the hot water, which, you know, melted the fat, and then put a bunch of scratch grain in there, and then let it just kind of soak in. And so that's a very calorie dense amount of food for the chickens.
Yep.
So, and then we have a bag of guts that need to go into our compost. So
yeah, and the feathers.
And feathers, yeah, feathers will go into the compost too.
Yeah, we just try to pick them up as much as we can. I mean, some of them it's really hard to pick up, but that way the dogs don't eat them. And
yeah, so that's going to be kind of our weekend activity over the next couple months, I think, because we still have a lot more roosters to go through.
Yeah, we have rooster row.
Yeah.
So everything that's up there. And the reason I was starting to talk about why I saved back a couple of roosters, the reason saved back a couple of roosters was I did mention I had quite a few little laying hens available that aren't part of our main flock and that are for sale. I'm going to offer up as starter flocks, so a rooster and like 4 or 5 hens. And I wanted to save back some of the good roosters, the ones that I knew were friendly, good protectors, and
Good looking,
like nice looking roosters, but also do their job and get along with other roosters. To me, that's important because a lot of times, especially once you have a rooster and you have hens, chicken math, eggs start hatching, you get lots of babies and you end up with multiple roosters very easily.
And depending on the rooster, it could be a lot of roosters that they throw off.
Yeah. So, but yeah, all of the roosters that we've kept down here, they all get along with each other. So even if they're all out, they're fine together, which is great. And that's really important for us because we don't need no rooster fighting. No. So things are calming down. Oh, it's so quiet.
Yeah, it's very nice.
It's so quiet.
The sheep need to be put up to their winter paddock, but we still have some grass around here, so I'm letting them for probably another week or so. It's kind of annoying, but while the grass is green, let them eat it. Yeah,
and I did refresh their minerals yesterday and did give them some hay in their little bale, in their little or in their little home. So they do have it over there, but they very much prefer. I shouldn't film. I'm very bad at this.
You're doing fine.
But I did put some in their enclosure also.
I want to tell them about a funny story that happened.
Oh yeah, I was supposed to remind you about something.
That's okay, I remembered.
Good.
So, it was Saturday morning, and took the dogs for the morning walk like normal, just me and the dogs. And this time we decided, instead of walking all the way down to the creek, decided to actually start heading up the hill behind the 1922 barn. But instead of heading straight up like we've done before, I could have headed up at an angle. Hadn't been in that area before.
There's a lot of down trees over there.
Lots and lots of down trees. It's like a whirlwind happened over there because lots of down trees.
Yeah, but it's been bad for a while.
Yeah, started exploring some cool areas up there and decided to start heading back because Levi and Winston were starting to go a little bit farther and a little bit farther and a little bit farther away. And you guys know their recall. When they have something, when they're on the trail of something, they're on the trail. Yeah, so, all right, well, they're off. Okay, great. So Kinsley and I started heading back, got back to the house, and then I fed Kinsley, and then got onto the trike, onto the Mooncool trike, and headed back to find Levi and Winston, because by this time it had been 30 minutes since I made it back, and they still weren't back yet, which is about the time that they start heading back. So I head down with the trike down to the 1922 barn, and I'm calling their name, and I'm whistling, and I'm clapping, doing everything to get them to come over. No sign of them. Head down to the creek, calling them, no sign. Head all the way down the creek to where the remains of the mill site is, calling their name, nothing. Like they are just not around, or they're not listening, or whatever. So I text Katie, I said, hey, please let me know if you happen to see the dogs, because it could be that they had gone a different way home.
And they were back up here.
And they were already back up here. And she texted me, nope, haven't seen them yet. Well, right after Katie texted me, nope, haven't seen them yet. Now I'm back there for 10 minutes or so. I'm now between the 1922 barn and that weird shed that we don't know what it is. And I'm just sitting there and I'm listening for things, and I'm listening, and I'm looking up where we had walked, and this 4-point buck or deer, maybe as a buck, do deer get antlers?
Bucks do, does don't.
Okay.
I don't think.
So it was a 4-point buck then, beautiful, beautiful deer, just comes up about 300 feet away from me into the woods, and I hear it, cracking a stick or whatever, and I'm thinking, oh man, that is awesome. And I was about to grab my phone, and all of a sudden, so I could record it, and all of a sudden it starts running towards me, but kind of away from me, down the hill, and I was like, man, that was so cool. Not but 2 seconds later comes charging. Levi is on its trail. He had been chasing that thing who knows how long, and then about 10 seconds after Levi, Winston's coming along too, and Levi passes right in front of me, and I'm like, Levi! And he looks over, he's like, oh, Dad, hey! And he stops in his track and goes, look, there's a deer! So I got him to stop, and I got Winston to come stop with me, and we headed home. But man, so that entire time, they must have been sniffing out and then chasing those deer.
Trying to find it, yeah.
Chasing those deer all around. They were so happy.
Yeah.
So happy. But yeah, that's my story. That's my exciting story for the weekend.
All right.
Yeah, all right, well, I think we're gonna go do, I don't know, something. What are we gonna do?
Say goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, you shenanigans. Not much longer for free ranging for you.
I think they prefer to be in a home.
Yeah, I think so too. They just meander. Like, what do we do? What do we do with ourselves?
They're like, do we live here? Do we live over here? How about over here? We'll take it over here. Oh, she's making her nest bigger.
Yeah,